The TV Blackout by Buchwald. A week ago, Sunday, New York City had a blackout and all 9 television stations in the area went out for several hours. This created tremendous crisis in families all over New York and proved that TV plays a much greater role in people's lives than anyone can imagine. For example, when the TV went off in the Bufkin's house, panic set in. First, Bufkin thought it was his set in the living room, so he rushed into his bedroom and turned it on that set. Nothing. The phone rang, and Mrs. Bufkin heard his sister in Manhattan tell her that there was a blackout. She hung up and said to her husband, "It isn't your set. Something's happened to the top of the Empire State Building." Bufkins looked at her and said, "Who are you?" "I'm your wife, Alice." "Oh," Bufkins said. "Then I suppose that's case. And there are mine." "That's right," Mrs. Bufkins said. "If you ever get out of the armchair in front of the TV set, you'd know who we are." "Oh, they've have really grown," Bufkins said, looking at his son and daughter. "How old are they now?" 13 and 14, Mrs. Bufkins replied. "Hi, kids." "Who's he?" Bufkin's son, Henry asked. "It's your father," Mrs. Bufkins said. "I am pleased to meet you," Bufkin's daughter Mary said shyly. There was silence all around. "Look," said Bufkins finally. "I know I haven't been a good father, but now that the TV's out, I'd like to know you better." "How?" asked Henry. "Well, let's just talk," Bufkin said. "That's the best way to get to know each other." "What do you want to talk about?" Mary asked. "Well, to begin with, what school do you go to?" "We go to high school," Henry said. "So you are both in high school?" There was a dead silence. "What do you do?" Mary asked. "I'm an accountant," Bufkin said. "I thought you were a car salesman," Mrs. Bufkin said in surprise. "That was 2 years ago. Didn't I tell you I changed jobs?" Bufkin said. "No, you didn't. You haven't told me anything for 2 years." "I'm doing quite well, too," Bufkin said. Then why am I working in a department store?" Mrs. Bufkins demanded. "Oh, are you still working in a department store? If I had known that, I would have told you could quit last year." "You should have mentioned it," Bufkins said. There was more dead silence. Finally, Henry said, "Hey, you want to hear me play the guitar?" "You know how to play the guitar?" said. "Didn't I have a daughter who played the guitar?" "That was Susie," Mr. Bufkins said. "Where is she?" "She got married years ago, just about the time you were watching the World Series. You know," Bufkins said. "Very pleasant. I hope they don't face the antenna for another couple hours. There is nothing better than a blackout for a man who really wants to know his family." And thanks for your attention.